Hello, guys. So we did our business model analysis on Kung Fu Tea. So what is Kung Fu Tea? So Kung Fu Tea started off as a chain and was created in 2010 in New York. The location they have here in College Park is one of 250 locations around the US. So Kung Fu Tea focuses primarily on bubble tea drinks slash boba, but also sells things such as merch, snacks, and Kung Fu Tea branded items. The College Park location opened around 2016, and it primarily focuses on milk tea drinks, but also has many creative and fruity drinks. Kafu tea was primarily made popular through their trendy vibe, their modern takes on drinks, and through their many collabs with anime film studios such as Funimation. So, what is their market structure like? They focus, they rely heavily on a monopolistic competition. So they have to rely on supply and demand to implement their prices. They're forced to differentiate themselves from competitors with value propositions such as quality, price, and collabs. And it is fairly cheap to enter the market. So there's free entry and exit of the market when profits are favorable with very few barriers. The key competitors in the area include other bubble tea shops such as Gongcha, Mogi Tea, and Jumbo Jumbo, and even coffee shops such as Starbucks, Vigilante, and the Board and Brew. So, what is their operation strategy? They rely heavily on a social factor. Boba was popularized in people late teenagers to middle aged adults. So, going to a boba shop with friends to play board games and study is seen as a trendy social event. People in recent times have been more open to trying different cultures, their foods, their drinks, their customs. So boba and kofu tea is an example of how foods and drinks are being introduced transculturally. Continuing on with the operation strategy, there is threat among existing competitors. So that's why Kung Fu Tea has to rely heavily on quality standards and creativity. And again, this is where the collabs come in, as it brings something new to the table. The bubble tea sector is severely saturated with similar priced items and similar tasting products, so there's no advantage for Kung Fu Tea there. And it has to rely heavily on customer loyalty, therefore has to focus greatly on customer satisfaction. So there is a threat of new entrants as well. In recent years, we have seen that the Kung Fu Tea in College Park has seen a decline in sales, either temporarily or permanently, every time a new shop opens in the area. Since it is relatively inexpensive and easy to open boba shops in the area, there's really not many entry barriers. And with similar price points, there would not be a significant advantage between Kung Fu Tea and other competitors.
Now, for the value proposition, we broke it up into two parts. First of all, I interviewed a Kung Fu Tea employee to get a sense of the statistics and information of the company. He said that the customers tend to be around 40% students and 60% others, which is interesting for a store located right outside of a college campus. Now, for how many customers, it depends on the weekday. During the week, it tends to be a little slower with around 50 customers per day, and weekends tend to be a little busier, averaging around 100 customers. The location entirely depends on the type of customer that they are. Students tend to live on campus or just outside, with other customers being from around the College Park area in PG County or passing through. He said that they value quality above all, but the satisfaction of experience and customer service is a factor as well. Now, for the willingness to pay, I first found Kung Fu Tea's most popular product, which is their milk tea. So I use it as a baseline to compare. Moj Tea and Gong Cha, their close competitors, have similar milk tea products, as this is the classic bubble tea in the category. Kung Fu Milk's tea price for a medium is $4.55 and $5.05 for a large, while Moj Tea's is $4.75 for a medium and $5.75 for a large, with Gong Cha being even higher. Although a slight increase, boba tea consumers are willing to pay for milk tea at a higher price than Kung Fu Teas. This tells us that Kung Fu Tea is a cost leader in its category. They're able to offer low prices while still delivering quality products and good customer service.
Moving on to value cost profit analysis, I set up an interview with the manager of KFT, Christina. She helped me figure out that milk tea is a core product line we'd like to focus on, as it is one of its most popular. They don't really use fresh ingredients other than tapioca and tea, which is made that day. Its main cost per cup are tea at 2 cents, milk lactose free powder at 50 cents, liquid cane syrup at 4 cents, plastic seal at 1 cent, cups at 3 cents, and tapioca pearls, which is also known as boba, at 14 cents. These ingredients are imported from China's mainland to New York for the East Coast and is then distributed to Maryland. Moving on to KFT's closest competitor, Gongcha. I briefly talked to the manager, Layla, to figure out more about it. Gongcha uses some fresh ingredients, and their main costs are very similar, like tea at 2 cents, milk lactose free powder at 50 cents, plastic lids at 1 cent, cups at 4 cents, liquid cane syrup at 4 cents, and tapioca pearls at 14 cents. Most of these ingredients are imported as well, but some are locally sourced if needed. Overall, KFT relies on their own brand for differentiation, because when it comes to its own tea, it's very similar to its closest competitors.
Kung Fu Tea estimates a 10 to 20% profit margin for their franchise locations, roughly 15% at the end of the first year. At 10%, it would take 10 years to recoup the initial investment, 8 years at 15%, and 6 years at 20%. In 2020, the business estimated franchise revenue was roughly $335,000. A major competitor, Gongcha, holds an estimated 18% profit margin and 370,000 in franchise revenue. In order to analyze their profitability in relation to competition, we compared their sales price variance in relation to revenue variance. As seen of previous slides, KFT's large milk tea selling for $5.05 over Gongcha at $5.75 should yield them approximately 12% less in revenues from this product. However, average franchise revenue concludes Kung Fu Tea only experiences 9% difference in profit. We can conclude from this profit analysis that Kung Fu Tea is building on a cost advantage over major competitors. They are offering product at a cheaper cost, yet still holding a competitive edge through more volume of customers and also keeping their costs low enough to maintain equivalent profit margins.
When considering how sustainable Kung Fu Tea's business model is, we must first consider the company's choice of strategy. By focusing on the quality of their product, Kung Fu Tea is enacting a differentiation strategy. The value the company hopes to derive comes from their innovative focus to make not only the best looking bubble tea, but also the best tasting. In order to do so, Kung Fu Tea uses premium ingredients like special tea leaves from Taiwan and practices detailed methods of production to produce high quality, made to order beverages. Kung Fu Tea's focus is on quality, and there's no doubt that is what they provide as a top grossing boba franchise in the US. On the other hand, it is important to mention how the lack of barriers to entry in the company's business model suggests unsustainability in the long run. Imitation is very easy when it comes to this niche market, as seen by the emergence of many competitors, including companies like Gongcha, Share Tea, Ding Tea, and Bubbleology. A major factor that comes into play when considering the lack of barriers to entry in this industry is the minimal thought that goes into picking which boba place to go to. The extent to which boba quality can be differentiated does not reveal singular brand loyalty, only occasional preference. Touching more on the existence of substitutes, my own personal experience when it comes to which boba place I go to here in College Park suggests how convenience and lack of forethought affects competition in this industry. Kung Fu Tea was my main choice for places to get boba around the Maryland campus for my first year here in 2020. But once Mogi Tea opened up last year just down the street from where I live, it became the place I go to when I want boba. The convenience of locations when it comes to Mogi Tea trumps any value that could be driven by Kung Fu's emphasis on quality. While I am no boba connoisseur, I believe my experience insinuates how sustainability in this industry is hard fought for. As I just touched upon, Kung Fu tea has its strengths, but also its vulnerabilities, as threat of substitution, high buyer power, and lack of barriers to entry plague the industry. With no protection of their business model, Kung Fu tea continues to push through adversity with a positive mindset, implementing certain strengths to build upon their business. The company's focus on building customer relationships is a major strength that sets Kung Fu tea apart. Within the brand's core, Kung Fu tea is attempting to create an experience for their customers and employees as Kung Fu masters, birthing a sense of community rather than transactional dealings. Another way Kung Fu tea has met their customers is by expanding geographically with over 300 locations across the world in the US, Canada, Cambodia, Taiwan, and Japan. Continuing with the conversation of strengths, Kung Fu tea's core competencies can be pulled from the value chain as their activity systems promote their sustainable business model. Some of Kung Fu tea's core competencies include the support activities in the value chain, infrastructure, HR, and technology. Infrastructure includes the company's amassed corporate culture and focus on brand development. When considering HR, the way Kung Fu tea treats their employees and focuses on fearless attitudes suggests a positive work environment and plays a role in the company's competitive advantage. Finally, at times unnoticed, Kung Fu tea's omni-channel strategy reveals how the company's technological capabilities build value through activities like the rewards program and app development. As a whole, Kung Fu tea's strengths and core competencies always go back to the people of the business, the customers, and the employees, revealing the company's means of creating sustainable competitive advantage.
The Kung Fu tea operates a bubble tea market in the food and beverage industry. They have been able to gain a monopolistic competitive market structure. It has too many small and numerous shops here. None of the shops are large enough to dominate this market. The bubble tea market has become oversaturated with low barriers to entry. Kung Fu tea's products face very close substitutes from its competitors. Kung Fu tea has benefited from our society's culture in popularizing that drink, and their many store locations giving convenience. Most of all, these drinks are over consistency and quality for their customers, and they have continued to come back. Customers' willingness to pay show as their prices have increased, but it has no impact on the amount of customers they receive. Kung Fu tea's costs are similar to its competitors and show no real advantage as an individual store. However, the company as a whole does have more of a cost advantage, as it is that each store suppliers and can gain more supplier power by choosing to outsource their suppliers in the future to bring the cost down. Overall, Kung Fu tea's is maintaining profitability even after the pandemic. Although Kung Fu tea's business model is possible to copy, it has the advantage of being around for a long time and being the competitor with 350 plus locations. They continue to expand with their store locations and partner with complementary brands. Overall, this company has achieved a sustained competitive advantage even with their oversaturated and not unique product. Because of their constant customer satisfaction, their continued positive profit margin, and their growing bubble tea demand in their market, their continued expansion, and their established brand as a go-to bubble tea in our area.